Okay, I'm going to quickly go over the things that are coming up for week 2. Trying to keep this to like 3 minutes. So be sure to keep up on the readings. They're in the week. I have another link to that in the week 2 folder, but the link hasn't changed. It won't change all semester. So be sure to keep up on the readings. Last week you should have read pages 3 through 41 in the book, and this week we're in week 2. You should read page 69 to 129, and you're going to need to refer to that. Coming up for week 3, beginning September 8th, you're going to have peer review due on essay 1, which you'll post a draft of your first essay in a discussion board and get feedback from your peers. That's the kind of thing that's graded on participation. And you also have your first module due. Usually takes an hour or two to do the module, and that will be due by, I think that's Sunday night, 9/14. Let's check the date. 9/14. Yep, Sunday night. So those are due Saturday and Sunday. So that's not till week 3. So just keep up on the readings, and this week the main thing that's due is a discussion board. Okay, so you have a link to the readings to remind you, and there's also a short movie in here about ethos, pathos, and logos, and that is discussed in your book, and it's just kind of to give you some familiarity with the concepts. Ethos is kind of like your credibility and personality as a writer and your authority to speak, and it's really important to start thinking about that, even for this first paper that you're going to be working on, the writing autobiography, because you have to give the reader a reason to believe you and to think that you're worth listening to. Okay, the week 2 discussion board is, I've got a couple different ways to get the directions. I have them posted as a PDF. They're also regular HTML here, and then they're also posted on the discussion board itself. So for the discussion board, you're going to need to have your book to refer to, because your book gives 5 possible scenarios to write about, and I have the page numbers all referenced here, but I want you to pick one of those scenarios and write about it. Not more than 300 words, but at least 200. Just pick one scenario, and then you post it, and then after you have yours posted, you go and read some other of your peers, what they wrote, and then you reply to that using the prompts on page 103 of your book. So I explained that all to you here, and that's due by Wednesday, I can't remember the date by heart, 9/3. Okay. The other thing that's due is just the readings. So I've got a little diagram in here about parts of an essay. You don't need to worry about that quite yet, but you will need to for when you turn your writing autobiography into me. That it's not even that important for the draft stage yet. Library sources, that's for especially for you being off campus. I've got some information about writing emails to me. I've got just some general information about thesis statements here. General information about pre-writing, which is kind of also talked about in your book. And this is just a short, it walks through visually, only visually, and it's without sound, on using LCC's online databases, which you have access to for free because you're paying tuition. And then I just want to take a look at the essay real quick. So the essay, nothing's due on it this coming week, week 2, but you are going to have a draft due in week 3. So be sure to read this over because you might want to start working on it. And you've got peer review due 9/13, that's a Saturday, and the final will be due September 20th, and the value is 50 points, and it explains everything here for you to think about. Your biggest challenge is what usually happens with this first essay is for students to be able to say everything they need to say in 3 pages. It usually works out to be about 3 pages. So, and that's everything for this week.